Thank you very much for joining us here on the Summit Dream Big to create a better world for yourself and the planet. With Ilona Selke here live, and today with our special guest, Suzanne Wagner. Now let me give you a little introduction to Suzanne. Hi there. You have, Suzanne Wagner was a prima ballerina, and that was who she was. She danced with the likes of Baryshnikov and was on front covers all over the world. Then her life changed, and she developed what she'd already had as a child, this amazing gift to know things that were coming. And so well so that she, for over 10 years, counseled Hollywood stars. And when I met her on the hills overlooking, I think, coming waterfall, she said, oh, I'll do a reading, took my hands and told me, I was 31, told me things that had not happened yet, that came about. She told me about me becoming a best-selling author, how many books I would write, what would be happening, the end of my life, everything. And so today, I want to ask you lots of questions about free will and destiny, about how we create the future, or do we have a predestined future? Obviously, as a psychic, if you see things in advance, it means some things might be in store for us. And this is the free portion of the segment, so I want you also to talk about what we can do, how we can develop those skills ourselves. And then in part two, I want to dive into, and that's the all paid pass for the subscribers who are buying the entire package, who listen to the larger portion at leisure. And that's the question of, what do you see coming, and how do we deal with predestined stones that are in our pathway? And I will throw in a couple tidbits which were so hair-raisingly right on when I had my readings, and I have them every single year with you, that I want to really discover this aspect of creating and destiny. All right, let's dive right in. Just to start out with, what happened in your life? I love that story, and I'd like to hear it again. I've interviewed you on another channel for Quantum Living on the TV show. But when you were a child, you were in school, there was one moment which was all defining, and that picture and that story still stays with me. Can you tell us about that?
Well, for me, the defining moment was when I was in school, and I was in parochial school, and I was dealing with the nuns in parochial school. And I was busy well, fortunately, being a raised Catholic, you're supposed to talk to your guardian angel. And so I just assumed that that was normal. And so I just talked to the guardian angels all the time. And then I thought, well, if I can talk to the guardian angels, let's talk to Jesus and let's talk to everybody. And I believed that everyone could tap in and touch those places when they ask, and they were coming from a real heartfelt, centered place. So I was on the playground, and I heard Jesus say, go into the church, and I want to show you something. And I went into the church, and somehow, I don't remember how all the candles got lit, but if you know a Catholic church, there's a lot of candles in a Catholic church. And I lit all the candles, and I put all of them in the center of the altar, which again, in the old days was a big bad no-no, that I wasn't supposed to go up onto the altar. And he gave me this beautiful teaching. And you have to remember, I was 6 years old, so it was at a 6-year-old level. And he said, man's body is like the wax of a candle. And when it's lit by spirit, it melts away the wax, and you become one with everything. And that is why we die. But you are still one with everything, and you still have your own consciousness and your own awareness. You are just a part of a bigger whole. And at that point, the nuns came in and grabbed me and pulled me off the altar and took me to the Mother Superior's office. And she sat down with me and she said, what happened? And I told her the truth. And she told me that I was a lying, blasphemous child, and that no one sees Jesus until the second coming. And in that moment, I realized that something was really off in the world, that if the nuns couldn't see Jesus in the room and couldn't see angels in the room, that we were in big trouble, because these were the spiritual people. These were the spiritual people. And I thought, oh no, what are we going to do? And so it's been my journey, as you know, to help people get in touch with the natural ability that I think everyone has, which is to connect with their higher self, to connect with truth, to connect with their angels and guides. I don't believe any of us are ever alone. I believe that we have a blueprint and a map that we came in to work on. And that when you work on that and transcend some of those lessons, doorways open up and possibilities emerge that you never believed were possible. But sometimes there's a series of lessons that you have to go through, and you can't get to the higher levels without dealing with those lessons. And so in my work with people, I try and say, okay, this is what we're working with. These are the lessons that you came in to learn. Now let's look at where we are on that journey and how can we speed that up? Can we speed that up? Can we move that forward? What is the belief that you have that blocks you from stepping into your essential destiny?
Okay.
So
when you say the essential destiny, that's very different from how the word destiny usually is used. Destiny oftentimes is used as a negative feeling, almost like, well, there's a destiny, you're supposed to become great, but there's also this, well, this was just meant to happen or not to happen, and hey, whatever you do doesn't really matter. How does that differ with your perspective on destiny?
I think that my personal experience is that I think I have places that I have chosen and my angels have chosen that are challenging, that I have to lean against. Mm-hmm. And I have to push against those. And sometimes resistance or problems are where you propel yourself out of an obstacle by pushing against it, and you propel yourself in the opposite direction because some part of you says, that is not what I'm here to do. But you have to push against something and go, no, in order to find the direction sometimes. Like sometimes you don't know. And I'm like, well, push against something and let's see what ricochets, like which way you get pushed in another direction. So I don't think any of the obstacles that are in my life, and I know you feel the same way, are a problem. I don't think nothing is a problem. I mean, everybody says it's a problem. I go, there are no problems. There are lessons that are essential for you to learn that help you define your direction and your purpose. Because I believe we're in a free will zone. I don't believe that, you're just a victim of fate. I believe you can be a victim of fate if you do not wake up and you do not step into your authentic self and learn to trust your core. But once you do that, the whole world really changes.
Right. Okay, good. So there is a destiny. It gives us stepping stones. Let's call these problems stepping stones to stand on and to become firm in a new trait within ourselves that becomes a greater expression of who we are. So once we master these lessons, so you help people figure these lessons out and how to tap into that. So you give people a roadmap of problems, but also you compare it to where you sense their destiny of soul is. Now, tell me, how can somebody develop these skills? And I believe on the path of evolution of our consciousness, we become a diviner. I mean, divining becomes daily activity, a daily thing. Last night I had this wonderful man in my house. He had been a drunk until he was 36, was ready to die, and kneeled down on the floor and said, Lord, give me, and he prays to Jesus. He was, I think, he was raised Catholic, but decided that who cares? Jesus, I can't go on anymore. You help me. And he said from that moment on, some light struck him and changed his mind. He was never going to be drinking ever again. He knew that. And now, fast forward to where he's 60, raised a beautiful angel of a daughter, has a thriving business, survived all the crashes from where other people disappeared, because he says he makes prayer a daily activity. Now, divining is similar. You listen to your inner voice. You do a dialogue with the universe. How do people do that? You teach people how to do that, I know. So tell us some tricks and bits, pieces of what we can do.
Well, and I love what you said, divining, because that word is so packed full of the real essential elements that are there. It's a fantastic word, because in divining, you have to feel, you have to sense, you have to test a little bit that edge, test a little bit that edge, and you have to follow a flow. You have to learn to follow the flow, and you have to learn to watch the signs. And
Right.
I believe that angels and guides are always talking to us, and I think signs are showing up all around us all the time. And I think most of us are so internally stressed, we're oblivious to the repetitive signs that keep showing up.
And they're rather subtle. I mean, the little the whispers of the soul, the whispers of the heart, the same. So how can we attune ourselves, and what are some techniques, methods that you can suggest we can develop or practice?
One of the things that I wanted to do with this summit is that I love doing guided visualizations,
Mm.
and I have a specific inner guide meditation that everybody just goes, oh my gosh, that has changed my life. That one thing, because when you can connect with a guide or an angel and really connect and have it sensually, so like you feel it, you smell it, you taste it, you touch it, you know, you have signals, you have a repetitive signal that when that angel is trying to talk to you, that you see butterflies or
Right.
a rainbow or something
Yes.
like that. And with each person, that's an individual thing.
Right.
And so that inner guide meditation is something you can repeat, because once you understand the flow, then you can actually go deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And so one of the things that I'm thinking in this summit of giving is that I will give the meditation. It's one of the things to give the meditation, but I also have it written out. And then I love you to listen to it and then repeat it into an audio file for yourself, because I think it's so
Okay.
important for you to hear your own self guiding yourself
Yes.
into your deeper places, that you can find those places.
So this beautiful meditation you give away for free. It's here at this button. If you click on that button, you will get to Suzanne's page where you sign in, and then she will send you the PDF and the audio file from the guided meditation. Awesome. Really, really awesome. So that's learning, and that takes time, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you can continue to do those. And so one of the things that I'm also thinking about doing is doing a monthly meditation, because I do meditations like you every day, and there are sort of patterns and themes that I start to see that this is the next step that humanity needs to do. And so
Yes.
this is the meditation now for this energy that we are in at this moment, and this is how you will move through it. And so that you have that meditation available to you, and you can continue the journey with me and with you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We will talk in the next segment, the all paid pass segment that is for our paid listeners, about what is coming, what you sense coming, and how we deal with obstacles and concrete things. Now, when I have gotten readings from you, I remember all the good things, but I also remember when you said, oh, there is some rather denser things coming. Let's say somebody might be dying in the vicinity of yours. Actually, it'll be related to your husband. It'll probably be a sibling or such. And lo and behold, within, it was when I got the reading about half a year later, his sister did pass away. So you have done Hollywood, people, for a good reason. For that reason, I call you. And I know that getting readings from another person is an amazing thing to handle it. But let's see, give me one more like, I know you use cards. You use cards. What can a normal person do to develop a divining ability? How do I play until I get comfortable? Or how would I take a step?
Well, and this is one of the reasons that, as part of the experience with your summit, is that I'm giving away the CDs that are the meditations for the tarot cards.
Oh my God.
So that you will get a CD, and so that you've got all the cards. And so, because I believe that sometimes people go, oh, I hate the devil card, but I'm like, but they don't understand the devil card. They don't really understand what it is about. It's about looking at where you're being tempted, and you are always at choice. There's always a place you can fall into the dark form of the card or the light form of the card. And this is where there's choice. And so in the meditation, you get to come in and deal with this archetype inside your own self and notice what that archetype is about and learn what that deeper meaning of the archetype is without all the preconditioned fear patterns that are related to that. Because again, I don't believe there's all this good and bad and right and wrong. I believe that it is all one, but there are lessons we have to be tempted in order to find out where we stand, like tempted and learn to draw a line. And so that is part of also the free gift that everybody will be getting.
Wow. Oh my God. I thank you. I'm going to kiss your hands and feet. Thank you. That is a great tool. And so then people can maybe develop the art of tarot reading or something. I know that you do online classes on tarot reading, by the way?
Yeah.
You do? Awesome. Okay. Because I know that you do classes in various places. You travel to California and to Utah, and you do classes in those locations. But these days, online is a lot easier. So to find out about you and we'll have links. We'll have your bio, your photo, your links to your pages. People can find out more, the download button. And I would like to say thank you for this part, giving us information about the concept of free will, blockages being transformational, opportunities to make something greater of ourselves, and that we shape the destiny depending on whether we choose to step up to the plate or drop. And allowing the light to dwell within us, that beautiful metaphor of becoming the candle where the light dwells within the shape of the form. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having given us this many gems so far. And I'm looking excitedly forward to the next part of in-depth discussion with you on what we do when there is a destiny, and then how it applies to our American current situation, maybe worldwide situation. Thank you. And for all those listeners who are joining us on the All Pass interviews, I'll see you in a minute. Click on the video right below, which will automatically appear for you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne.